This is the C Word Podcast. Everything talked about in this podcast is for educational and entertainment purposes only, and is not financial advice. You should always seek professional financial advice. Now, onto the podcast.
So yeah, NFTs, NFT news, the NFT error message. Did you see this one? The NFT error message? Everyone just started getting error messages.
I didn't see too much about it until we spoke about it.
Do you know, like, there's sometimes something happens and you realise that the picture that you bought is just a picture. It's just a
really?
The picture
feels like a personal attack.
Yeah. Hey, I know this feeling. Trust me. And not only was it a personal attack on myself, but it was like a realisation at the end of the day.
Almost as bad as seeing disabled on your OpenSea.
Yeah.
What does that even mean?
Yeah. We need to find out. If someone knows what disabled means on OpenSea, then we'd love to know, because someone paid money for that.
Yeah.
So
I went in on a lot of dodgy NFT.
I think we all did at some point. You know, at the end of the day, when you look at an NFT, it comprises of like some smart contract code, an entry on a blockchain, and a link to a picture or some sort of media, right? But the thing is the media has to be hosted somewhere, right? On the web. If it's going to show on the web, the data for that picture has to be delivered somewhere. Now, there was this one, I can't remember the collection name. Let me just see.
Oh, CloneX.
CloneX.
Yeah, CloneX.
Artifact. You know who's got those?
Yeah, so a Nike-backed NFT
that was,
project.
Not gonna make it.
Oh, really? The D-Man, we're thinking of you.
Yeah.
We're thinking of you. So, CloneX Artifact. Effectively, all their pictures for their NFTs are with a hosting provider. And that hosting provider's only job is obviously to serve the picture to whatever device is asking for the picture of the NFT.
Yeah.
Now, this service is a paid service, right? Especially when you've got a lot of traffic trying to hit these pictures. You know, it's not going to be free. And the long story short is someone didn't pay the bill.
Well, I think they downgraded their plan, didn't they?
Is that what they did?
Yeah, they downgraded the plan.
Yes, that's right.
I think it was due to investment and funding, though. So it was
This is what I mean. Yeah.
They pulled the funding on it, so they couldn't afford it.
Yeah.
Not that I don't even know how much it costs to.
This is the thing.
That.
Well, let's put it this way: it's not a lot.
Okay.
Right. They call
this is a real kick in the
Yeah.
arse. Yeah.
I'm sorry, but I'm just gonna say it's really not that much, right? It's not that much. I mean, I can just tell you now how much it would be. So Cloudflare.
The worst part is they downgraded to the free plan.
Well,
not even a little.
Not even a little bit of consideration on money.
This is my biggest problem here, right? So.
Oh, stop it.
So this, if anything, this shows you the probable state of the mess they might have been in.
How many is there though?
Right,
there can't be that many CloneX.
We're just looking at the costs vary, right? But to host a picture, like let's say a gigabyte's worth of NFT pictures, per month is $0.015. So that's 1.5 cents a month.
Even with the standard storage is per million requests, right?
Well, here's the thing. So, and then on top of that, you have to pay per requests. But per million requests is $4.5.
Do you know how many people own CloneX Artifact?
How many?
10,000. 9,228 unique owners.
And they couldn't afford that. They couldn't afford. That doesn't even fall into this category, right? The only thing I can imagine is they're getting a lot of requests for people looking at, because they've got apps that load up the NFT as a visual, so they might be getting a lot of requests. But it's $4.5 per million requests, and that's at its highest class storage, like the most fastest available, globally redundant. What I mean by that is, like, if you load it up on your phone, if it's in class A storage, for example, your NFT picture will be around the corner on the server, right? Do you know what I mean? So they push it everywhere for that cost. But if you want to save a bit of money, you can go to a lower tier, and that's You go from $4.5 per million requests to 36 cents
I was
per million requests. So someone doesn't know what they're doing.
Yeah, I was going to say, I love how they went from, keeping it at a good level to just nothing, free.
Yeah, to nothing.
To free.
And what worries me about this is someone pulled the plug entirely on their infrastructure operations for that to happen.
Yeah.
Because I would
They said they were moving
donate
it to
the money.
They said they were moving it to a decentralized storage.
There's still...
But is this not a key example of just keep it with the experts? It was clearly people who didn't have enough understanding of how this was going to operate to then go from a model where it was working to essentially free, where everything fell apart. Because surely the legal cases behind that were going to be a hell of a lot more than what they'd have been paying for monthly, storage fees.
There's a lot of issues though where people get put in charge of projects and they're more just to do with money. And then it's like, oh, you're like the CFO, so you get to run everything now. And they're like, why are we paying for storage when you could have free storage? Click.
But that's
Exactly.
literally how they think.
Yeah, why?
That's literally how they think, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
They're like, well, have the free storage, but then what they don't realise is it
Doesn't
looks...
work.
Yeah, it doesn't work. Doesn't work. This is the problem with decentralised storage, I'll tell you now. Doesn't work. Slow as and you've got... and you've still got to pay to keep your content there. A lot of people don't know that. If you put your content on decentralized storage, it's great until they decide to get rid of your content because you're not paying anything for it, right? And it's called pinning.
Yeah.
When you want content to be there forever, you've got to keep accessing it. But who's going to sit there continuously accessing 10,000 pictures of NFTs? No one. So you have to pay for a service, it's called pinning, that just keeps pinging the service just to keep it alive. Because if the content on the decentralized service has not been accessed for, I don't know what it might be, 6 months, they just delete it.
Yeah.
Because your content is still being stored on a volunteer's computer.
Yeah.
Right? It's not yours. It's on someone's computer, and they might just decide to turn it off, close the laptop, and it's gone.
There's a lot of things like
that,
that though, isn't there? Like if that person dies in, it's like Minnesota, there's some furry that has a free app that keeps time on the internet, but it's this code that's then being used in all the original code. So like every service on the internet is like hanging on this clock that keeps a centralized time, and it was just a free clock app from the late 90s. And if that it's run by one person, so if there's one person dies,
No redundancy there at all.
No,
Then
no backup there.
The whole internet just doesn't have time, and then obviously a lot of code is based on what time it is.
Yeah, massively.
So then it's just all the websites in the world would shut down, and
That's
it's just hanging on this thread.
Yeah,
of one person with a free app as well. It's not even
that's
they
wild.
make no money from it, and they're
Crazy.
just holding up the whole internet.
Do you know there are so many examples of this everywhere though? Just in general.
Really?
Yeah, I can't remember what this is for, but every month I think there's this set of keys, and if we're watching this on YouTube, I will put a link to this, right? But there's a set of keys that basically control something to do with the internet, and every month
Sounds so
I know. This sounds like Illuminati shit, right?
This guy's got the internet.
Yeah, I'm not joking, but they have to rotate these keys every month, and they meet every month
With their cloaks on.
I'm not joking. They meet. There's an article
Round of
on the web.
fire.
There's an article about this on the web, but they meet every month, right? They have to sign all this stuff. They go into a secret room and they rotate these keys, and then they come out again. And it sounds absolutely mad, but it's true, and it keeps the internet secure again.
Sounds like He-Man.
It sounds. I know this sounds like a joke. Do you know? Right, hold on. This sounds like an
This is
absolute
something
joke.
that
Hold
I'm
on.
gonna. Yeah, this is training
Internet
for me on the way
key
home.
rotation ceremony. Okay, and it is a thing. There it is, the key to the internet and the key ceremonies. An explainer. DNS, that's it.
Oh,
Domain
yeah.
name service. It's protected by these keys.
The highest level using a seal of authenticity, locking yourselves in a room.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, using the root zone key. Effectively,
How do
this
they pick the location?
I don't know.
Because surely that would be, that's also impacted to make sure everyone's there at the same time.
So here we go. The key
it's
signing
safe.
is stored at 2 secure facilities. One is located in LA and the other one in Culpeper in Virginia. So there you go. We'll put a link. We'll put a link to this.
Yeah, I
We'll
feel
put a
like
link
this
to
needs
because-
a further.
Yeah, we need to talk about all the. There's a load of mad shit like this on the internet. You've got the person that controls time. You've got the key holders and the ceremony. Do you know what I mean? This has been going on forever and ever. So there's just a load of like weird internet stuff. Like, do you know that should be our next episode?
Yeah, I kind of like
Just
that.
focusing on the weird internet stuff that exists because so many people don't know.
Why not
It's a
just
real
use like
thing.
ENS instead of DNS?
Because I think ENS,
Just
Ethereum
Ethereum.
name service, operates within blockchains, whereas this is the internet, and I think the two
Oh yeah,
they
but,
don't cross over
No, I mean,
like a decentralized version.
yeah, move into a decentralized internet and away from the centralized.
I
internet.
think. Do you know what? I think that is such a big battle. I reckon because it's a great. Some might say, why is it not like that now? But
Yeah. I'm definitely in that camp.
yeah. But I think I can only say the word capitalism here. Do you know? That's the only thing that's coming to. Yeah. Who knew? Right? That's like the only thing that's coming to my mind right now. It's just like capitalism and monopolies and.
It's funny though, because in the article it's like there's 2 identical facilities, one in Culpeper and one in LA, and then eventually there's going to be a CFO in charge of this, and they'll be like, we don't need 2 of these.
Yeah.
It's like just a room with some keys in it in LA.
Yeah.
The whole internet in it. Someone's like,
wild.
yeah, just bomb that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just bunker bust that one.
Yeah.
We'll
now
be
there's,
fine.
now there's no domains.
Yeah, that kind of blows my mind that also that's available on the internet about where the locations are. I mean, it's not specific.
Yeah,
but even,
I know what you mean, but the fact that that is there telling you where it is.
Yeah.
If it's something that controls that level of the internet, I wouldn't even tell.
Exactly.
I wouldn't even I wouldn't even go and make this public in the first place,
Yeah.
which is wild.
Especially
So,
now,
yeah.
when
Yeah, when things are not safe.
when things are not great.
Yeah, things
the
are not
last
great
thing I would want is
globally.
let's slow the whole world down and basically stop everything. That's wild.
That is wild.
Would that be another thing though, like the NFTs? So would I get my money back for my domain names
I don't think so.
if somebody bombs the keys?
I
Like-
just don't think.
They'd be like, oh great,
No,
no, my
do-
NFTs aren't worth anything, my domains aren't
Do you
worth
know what?
anything.
Like, if let's say if someone bunker busted them keys, right, or whatever it is, them locations, we're gonna fall back to the systems that the capitalists control, and guess what? We ain't getting our money.
Yeah.
If you know,
Who
that's who knew, right? That's all that I keep thinking. So
What happens if there isn't domain name services?
we fall back to IP addresses, which humans are not good at remembering. Hence why.
Yeah,
we have
yeah,
domain names. Yeah.
I like the HTTP.
Yeah,
colon
that-
slash.
Yeah, that's the base level. Like that underneath domain names are just a thing on top to help humans remember,
Yeah.
right? But underneath that is IP addresses. And it used to be like 192.168. We used to
When you get your
we used to
service,
barely
yeah.
remember that, but now it's IPv6, right? Which is a series of alphanumerical characters, so it's even harder
adding
to
that in,
remember.
yeah.
Because we ran out of IP addresses,
Right.
right? So now it's even harder to remember. So like we would fall back to that system, and then
Yeah.
so we'd have a little notebook. We'd fall back to notebooks with addresses in them, like these IP addresses. That's what would happen.
We'd move to a decentralized system.
Well, I hope that's what would happen, but there's only one way to find out.
Bomb the keys.
Trump.
Yeah.
Yo, I know where he is. I'll tell you now. Yeah, so there you go. I wanted to just talk about James because he's given up.
He's also a recurring factor of all the podcast, so I think that he's worth a mention.
Yeah, and I wanted to just... we're like the only people that cover James Howell.
Wow. James Howell's given up on finding a broken
Well,
storage.
do you know why I wanted to, in particular, bring this up? Because we predicted something that happened in the end, right?
Dun, dun, dun.
So James, our boy James, right? Damn right. Okay, he basically he's not given up, but he's basically been told by the courts he just can't continue this.
Yeah, and
This can't continue.
On this note as well, I was reading some stuff around it. UK waste management authorities and like the law that's around it, anything that goes into a landfill is then legally theirs.
Really?
Yeah, so I don't know
I didn't
how.
know that.
I didn't know this either until reading it, because I thought, why would you? He's been trying to obviously fight this for so long.
Yeah.
When he can't even do it anyway. so I was a bit confused. Obviously, there's,
James.
there's money in the equation. I'm sure he could have,
Yeah,
twisted their arms a bit. But yeah, as soon as I read that, I was like, what?
Oh, so he could have just spent his whole life trying to find this hard drive, and then they'd just
They
be
could
like,
find
we
it.
actually own that.
Yeah, they could have found it and been like, oh, sorry.
Thanks for that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
how wild.
I'll take this.
That is crazy. I did not know that at all.
Yeah.
But that is fascinating information. So here's the thing, right? I'm just going to scroll. Oh, he looks so
I know. He looks like a tired man.
Yeah, he looks tired. Like, James, if you're listening to this, I hope you get some sleep.
Yeah.
Like, time to put this behind you and focus on your film.
Yeah, so.
So, look, UK waste management laws, anything disposed on a landfill is technically owned by the landfill site. So, exactly what you said. And then, you predicted something in our previous podcast that was brought up by the judge, right? So, I'm going to scroll down here. The judge pointed to several factors that made the case untenable, including the state of the hard drive after more than a decade, which is a long time, actually, to be in a hostile environment. So exposure to moisture, pressure, and
it's so
extreme
hot in
temperatures.
landfill,
Yeah,
like
exactly.
10 years
right?
of shit on top of it.
Exactly,
as well.
yeah. They're living things, aren't they? They're like bio, like whatever it is.
Yeah.
So, it's biodegrading. And extreme temperatures. And basically, they said the time limitations imposed by UK law, claims, etc., even if the recovery efforts were permitted, experts acknowledged that the chances of the drive surviving intact were slim.
They call me an expert.
Yeah, massively, mate. Do you know what I mean? Like, I saw this and I was like, we've got to talk about this because, like, you predicted this.
One of the first things.
It was one of the first things. One of the first things you said, and I couldn't believe it. And I was like, well, that's the end of that. And then now he's focused on making his film.
He needs to make some money back.
He's got to make that 570 million pounds back via movie rights. I mean,
it's going to be a shit Avengers, that one.
To make that amount of money back from a film, and I'm just making up a fake target here that he wanted, making up 750 million pounds box office, right? Like, it would have to be a hell of a film about a man looking for a hard drive.
It was,
In a dump.
Yeah.
It would have to be a hell of a film.
He would need it to be like 700 million at box office, because he would have to spend millions to make it.
Yeah, and I wonder how much he's made, or how much it's cost him so far, I have to say, on legal fees. I imagine he's asked people to do it for free in return for a cut.
Yeah, I think he did a lot of that at the beginning, saying, if you help me with this, you'll get X return. And I think as time went on, people started to realise this isn't going to happen and moved away from that. Hence why it's now died down, really.
Yeah, pretty much. And I think he's just given up
in the first place. There's some guy at the dump who's like, "I'll give you £1 million." Okay. Thanks.
I wonder how they like depict his girlfriend in all of this though, because I've seen pictures of her and she looks like quite a sweet lady. It was a genuine mistake.
I'm sure, but
she's a villain in this.
I can't wait to see how she's depicted in the film.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? Like, she's just like some absolute monster. With like real problems.
I hated him anyway.
Like the film opens and it's just her looking at the camera like, I hate men. I hate relationships. I hate computers.
His fake little internet money in the bin.
His stupid coins. He keeps
she
talking
didn't agree about leaving a knife on the edge of the sink in case you're going to make another sandwich. She just walked in and found the knife and was like, snap the hard drive in the bin.
We should write this, actually.
It would be really interesting to see how they,
It would be. It'd be so harsh to make that film quicker and better than he is and get it out first and make millions of pounds.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to watch his film.
I guess that will be the closing chapter, really, to see how much our boy James makes
from it.
Yeah, from it. Next bit of news. The ban hammer keeps coming. And do you know what really winds me up, right? We've got all this talk about, and all this effort and talk about crypto being mainstream, right? And it's going to happen. It's going to happen. Crypto's going to be mainstream. I, for one, am one of these people. I'm like, yeah, it's going to happen. Don't worry. I keep telling everyone it will happen in time. I just don't know when.
Yeah.
But Barclays recently just, I think only a few days ago, 2 days ago, banned all crypto purchases at all. Like,
I thought it was just with credit cards.
Was it credit cards?
Yeah,
Right,
just with credit cards. Although saying that, I think Barclays, it doesn't work with a number of different platforms. So I don't think like you can use, correct me if I'm wrong here, but I don't think you can use Barclays for like crypto.com and things like that. I think they're only working with UK regulated platforms, which is hardly any, you know.
Right.
But yeah, they're banning
credit cards, you're right, yeah. So, but that's fascinating because usually it's the other way around. They wouldn't allow it on a debit card. But they would allow it on a credit card because there's a certain level of protection.
Yeah.
You know, but the fact that they're not allowing it on credit cards means that I think too many people are losing money.
Yeah. And
by using it on a credit card, which is deemed safe. It's safer than a debit card.
And then they're claiming it back.
And they're claiming it back, so that Barclays are losing money.
I don't think you can, because the purchase of crypto isn't covered by the financial
Oh,
ombudsman.
really?
So yeah, I don't think that actually they're able to do that. But I think the ban kind of comes from, thing is, I see it as like a credit card, right? Everyone's given credit based on their financial situation. There's a certain cap to it. Yeah. So if you want to spend money that is yours in your, debit account, fine, do as you wish. With a credit card, I think they're seeing it as, ultimately you're spending our money. But at the same way as that you get a credit limit for absolutely, they shouldn't ban it. They should just say, okay, this is your credit limit based on your financial situation. Yeah. If you stop making the repayments back and you're getting into debt, fine. They just, as any other credit card, kind of stop it, or they'll reduce your credit limits. They shouldn't ban it completely, because there's people who are still able to make their monthly payments, continue that balance. So yeah, I think the ban is a bit too much.
Yeah.
But then we don't know the background. They could be facing.
Well, this is the thing. We don't know the background. All we hear as customers is just we're banning crypto purchases on credit cards, right? And everyone's like, "Oh, that's a great thing. Well, they're protecting us and all that." But actually, I was thinking about this on the way in, and this is even within the financial institutions. There's people talking about crypto being adopted, going mainstream, being able to be used in terminals. You keep seeing like government, the FCA talking about it. You keep seeing like other financial institutions talking about it. But then on the other side, you have people like Barclays and however many other banks just banning any crypto purchases within certain conditions. And it just got me thinking, and if anyone has any information on this, I would love to know. Yeah. But I think that behind the scenes, there is this massive shadow war going on between people that are pro crypto. I struggle to say that. I don't know why. And well, actually, I know why. This coffee is blowing my tits off.
It was rocket fuel. I had a double espresso and I was on fire when I walked in here.
It's blowing my off. It's round the corner. That place round the corner. Do you know what it's called?
No, but I came in I had my double espresso and I was a bit shaky after.
Just need to give them a shout out, because whatever they're putting,
Hackney Wick coffee shop.
Yeah, whatever they're
I think I walked past it.
Yeah, you would. I think you would have. Whatever they're putting in there is working. So, is it this place? Here? Anyway, we'll give you a shout out. I think there's just this massive shadow war going on between like the executives, and and if you remember in my one of the last stories I talked about, I explained that we were working for a large company building a proof of concept that would allow someone to make payments in a shop using crypto. And when it came to the actual meeting between the bank and that company, the bank didn't turn up on purpose. Yeah, you're telling me, right? And they did not turn up on purpose.
Not gonna make it.
And that was the end of the project.
Yeah.
It died there, and we never heard anything again.
I think Barclays might be rethinking a lot of tech, because they also, the company that I work for was the biggest loss on the FTSE 100 last week.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
because Barclays had announced that they think that AI is going to change the way that adverts are made, and all the advertising companies just got nerfed on the stock exchange because they have such a big buying power that they can just say, yeah, we're not going to put money into it, or they'll sell all their positions on it, and then the price goes down. So it feels like they've just had a massive look at crypto and AI and what's going on with tech, and like readjusted all their positions. And I think it's part of the same move.
I do worry a little bit about that, about how AI is changing a lot.
Yeah.
Too much, if anything. Sorry. I'm Oh, genius! This guy.
Guys, we're having a slow morning. So shout out, is it Ozone?
Ozone.
Coffee,
Shout out
yeah.
Ozone in Hackney Wick for the strongest coffee in London.
blows your tits off. I am not joking. I was starting to. I couldn't even speak. I was like, pro crypto. It was a weird thing to say as well, and not be able to stutter with that. But Ozone, thank you.
They roast their own coffee around here, I think. They have a roastery.
We were saying
Yeah.
that's kind of where we want to host the next one because it was just such a cool spot and
Yeah, the garden
Not
in
too
the back
loud, not
is
too- yeah.
really beautiful, and we were thinking that next one we'll probably do it there if the weather's good.
Yeah,
So in the garden.
I had the same
Yeah.
thought.
yeah, just to close it up. I mean, it's a shame because I think that the UK is so, right now we're in such a weird position that we've taken so long to put things in place that it's caused so many actions to be delayed, right? So I think looking at the regulation come in this year for, say, stable coins and actually what the framework's going to look like for crypto assets as a whole, we're just taking way too long to put things into place. And don't get me wrong, I love the fact that there is thought going behind it, but I feel like we're just waiting on to see what everyone else is doing. You know, what's the US doing? What's the EU doing with Mika? You know, and then we're kind of piggybacking off their decisions and then rolling it out here. And unfortunately, it means that, you know, before we get the proper framework in place, which gives institutions more trust, big institutions are making these decisions, which are then impacting the users, you know, without any kind of, you know, concern behind it. So, yeah, I think that's kind of frustrating.
Can
on
I
that
ask you a
side.
question? Do you think, and just be honest, like, do you think it will ever happen?
What?
Like, crypto?
I was like,
just crypto in general.
what?
As in, like, do you think? So,
This was
do you
so
know what?
open-ended.
I really should have like qualified that.
It's the coffee. It's the coffee.
It's
We're
the coffee,
blaming
okay,
Ozone.
Ozone, you guys, I don't know what you're putting in here. I do not know what you're putting in. Blah, 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 blah. Right. Do you think we'll get to a point where crypto will ever actually make it into the merchants side of things? And
Yeah,
do you think so? Yeah?
100%. I mean, let's not saying every, you know, asset is going to, right? Because I think that each one serves its purpose. Like the alts are there for a different reason than say, you know, the more traditional ones. So I think, you know, BTC ETH 100%, but also I just think the stablecoin market's going to absolutely blow up.
Yeah.
Like I said, I used to work for a cross-border payments company that used stablecoins as the traditional, as the method for making these transactions. And we could facilitate a cross-border payment in essentially 4 hours by using USDC as the under rail.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, a lot of banks, a lot of big institutions are all recognizing this is the next step of digital money. Everything's going digital. Why is money not?
That's amazing that they use USDC as the underrail.
USDC and USDT.
Yeah, and I guess because they've been around forever, right? And I guess they're trustable.
Yeah.
I guess if they've got the backing, the one-to-one backing. I know USDT doesn't really have it, but it's got the liquidity.
Yeah, exactly.
It's fascinating that they used that and they trusted that.
Yeah. And I think it's such a growing market. I mean, look at the likes of who is it? Amazon have come out saying that they want to create their own stable coin. I think it was like Walmart as well, but like loads of big businesses, primarily in the US now that Trump's released, I think he called it Genius, but that's around the stablecoin legislation that he's looking to put in place.
What's Genius?
Genius. So basically, they came out with like a light framework around what the stablecoin market was going to look like. It's a bit scary because there were some parts in it. I didn't read all of it, so yeah, but there were some parts of it that said, you know, it has to have the ability to be frozen and stuff like that. So it's kind of giving it like a level of control which steps outside of the decentralized world that we want it to be in.
USDT has that and USDC.
Yeah, so what was it recently where it was frozen?
They can freeze your assets.
Yeah.
They can freeze your tokens if they want to.
Yeah.
It's
Something
and I
happened
think,
recently where it just completely rocked everyone because everyone was like, what do you mean you could do? Well, of course they can.
Yeah,
It is still institutionally ran. It's not completely.
And what's fascinating is that control has been there since the beginning, because they knew that if this token was going to be trusted by the government, they have to have a mechanism to be able to freeze your assets as normal money has, right, in bank accounts and stuff. So that is it's actually there, and a lot of people don't know.
Yeah, but it was quite funny because everyone was like screaming about it on Twitter, and it was like, well, no, this is still run by an institution. So essentially, if those above come down and say, hey, for whatever reason, money laundering, counter-terrorist financing, you know, we have to freeze these, they have the ability to. And I think people didn't realize that, and it just completely rocked the system.
Yeah, and for those that don't know, like if you look at USDT on a block explorer where you can view the smart contract, you can see the functions there in the smart contract for USDC or USDT, allowing them to freeze and unfreeze your assets. It's right there, it's public. But people they don't want to believe it because they see like USDC and USDT as like, you know, down with the banks and, you know, what do they call it? Like unbanking or something like that, like where they go against the banks. There's a term for it, isn't there?
Yeah, I know what you mean, but I can't think of it.
Debanking or something like that. Yeah, something like that. Anyway, it's fascinating. And then when you realise that the currency that you were trying to trust actually has the same mechanisms and controls.
But now it seems more important than ever because, like, Palestinian Action being designated a terror group in the UK, when it's like just some people
messing around on an airfield.
Yeah, going in and spray painting a plane. And it's like there's been lots of cases before where people were doing these things as a protest and it was fine, but now it's been put as that. So the fact that you can have all of your money taken away for saying that genocide is bad, and then all of a sudden it's like, all right, you're just not allowed to have a house or money anymore. It seems crazy. Like you should be able to have control of it.
Well, you should be able to, but again, this is a bit. I think that's a much bigger conversation, isn't it? Around like, you know, government's money control, and I think
that's what it's all based on, right?
Yeah,
that's why it's such a weird thing for two of the big coins to not be decentralized in any way whatsoever.
And I think I can't help but think that the government still want that level of control. If I bet you. Like a kid. I bet you
20 sheep.
I imagine
he's only got 40 left.
Yeah. Come on, sheep. I imagine if blockchains at the baseline level, if every crypto token that was created had the ability to be frozen and unfrozen by a centralized entity, it would be in the shops now.
Yeah.
But the fact
but would
that
people
it's not,
buy it? Like, so a lot of people got into it.
I think
it was different.
Yeah, I think if...
Otherwise, it's just the same. Like, why change?
This is true, but I think even just the fact that the tokens were weird and interesting, some people buy it just because of that. You know, if they can't... they slowly realise lasers, they can't spend it in shops, which makes it almost pointless for the majority of people. Right.
Yeah. But I would say, like, that thing you were talking about at the start is if you can just change it into a voucher almost immediately, then you can spend it in shops.
You can, absolutely. And that's what blew my mind when I found out about crypto refills.
And I think there's so many dApps now that are coming and building these different platforms that you can actually do that on. We just haven't heard of them yet.
It's true. People are working on it.
Yeah, massively.
For sure.